I mean, listen, first time, everything's at an all-time low. And the comments that we get today from a guy like Chase Claypool, when they basically say, hey, this guy, do you think you're being utilized correctly in this offense?
Yeah.
And he says no.
Right.
Those comments to me tell me so much, because he's now the fourth guy to speak out about the play calling. If you lose this game, I think you're heading toward a scenario where Luke Getsy's no longer a part of this team. Maybe not going into week 5, but I think by the bye week, you might be looking for somebody else as a play caller.
Look, or
the mini bye, I should say.
I like Dan's comment because it's funny. Dan said that Fields threw for 291 in Pittsburgh 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was
our live call. Remember we was at that was
we were at the spot at the VIP.
We got cheated that game too,
dude. We did get cheated, but I watched that clip from what was it, the ex player person Josh Lucas, whatever that guy's name was.
On 670.
He brought that up about how that Pittsburgh game, because to me, I remember that game like that was the game where I said, hey guys, we got a quarterback.
Yeah.
He got some fire. He's moving down the field. He's slinging the ball. Like I said, we got something to work on. And then with the New England game and the Denver the Dolphins game last year, he was confident. He was passing the ball. Like, I don't know what we're getting out of this guy this year. Like, is he thinking too hard and he's trying to overcompensate, or he feels like I should be doing this and he's forcing the game? But is the game plan also just bad? Like, it's like this 60-40, 50-50 deal. I don't know what it is.
I think no matter what, and here's the thing, me and Kid talked about this yesterday, right? No matter what, this week tells me something so important when it comes to Luke Getsy, because if you can't tailor your game plan to the blueprint that's clearly out there, no matter what you say, Vance Joseph is not a good DC. He wasn't a good DC before, right? Like everywhere he's been, he's gotten 45 plus points dropped on his head. He's not a good DC.
Wasn't he in Arizona?
He was in Arizona. First game of the season last year. 45 on your head top,
I remember him from the Hard Knocks.
But to me, this is the game that tells me the most about what Luke Getsy is, because remember he came out and he says, I just feel that, I'm not somebody who will force players to run my scheme. I'll adapt my scheme to what the game is and what the players can do. We haven't seen that through 3 weeks. If we don't see it this week, you're doing offensive malpractice. There's only one option for you. Like, run the football. Roschon Johnson should have 15 to 17 carries. Khalil Herbert should have 15 to 17 carries. You should have 20 passes for Justin Fields, maybe 25 at most, because you're running the football so much. You want to know why? Because your goal is to win the game. But
you also want to wear the defense down. You want to get those linebackers tired. You want to get that D-line tired. If you keep running after those dudes and wear them down, but if you're sitting there trying to go into an airstrike type game, and it's not going to win. You got to be able to control the line of scrimmage. You got to be able to, control the yardage. So, given that, I definitely want to see Roschon do his thing, because it sounds like he's to me, that's that guy, and the timing is perfect. Let's just look, for the record, I want them to just win this one game so that we can go like 1-16.
No, 100%.
And then we're good. Now we're not winless. We got to protect Roschon for next year. If we get a staff in here and a coach and a new quarterback, and he's only in year 2, because running backs only get 3 years anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's special, he might get 5. But no, I think I'm not. It's such a disappointing turn of events with this season, and so if they beat the Broncos, yay! Like I'm not excited. I think they could win, but they're probably gonna blow that too.
Well, I think 100%, right? Now, the one thing that I loved, I don't know if you guys saw the Chicago Bears podcast yesterday. Check that out as well. By the way, 53 people in here, 10 likes. Hit that like button.
Shout out to Baki. What up, Baki? Man. We see you in there. Tareen, thank you for the condolences, my guy. Arhun, I see you. Adam, Dan, much love to all you guys that's with us on the Friday.
Oh God,
Robert Diaz, we see you, man.
It's one of those situations. Yurko talked about, because I kept asking, what is the one thing we always hear, right? You got to learn to win. You got to learn how to win. You got to figure out how to win a game. You got to learn how to win a game. I was like, bro, like, is that just a cliche? What does that actually mean? Yurko broke this down so well. He said in the fourth quarter games, learning to win is no penalties. You're not turning the football over. You're not doing things to send you backwards. Both sides of the teams are exhausted. and you're still focusing now on being as crisp as you can on technique.
Mm-hmm.
You're being as crisp as you can in all of those moments that leads you to a victory. The Bears, I'll be honest with you, since Matt Eberflus has been here, have we done that? Right? Like the games that we won, even last season, we were up. We dominated. We dominated the entire time. It didn't matter how we finished the game out because we dominated the game as a whole.
I feel that, yes, there were at least 4 games that we should have definitely won last year. They were competitive. And even when the defense was like, when they started eroding the defense by trading Roquan and Quinn.
Yeah.
But there was some type of intensity. It's like this team, what we're seeing right now is just, I mean, we actually got a better defensive end in Yannick, but we're still like, and we got better linebackers. But if you have no pressure on that D line, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Based off this scheme. But I don't know, maybe Allen Williams, Eberflus.
Williams ain't there no more.
I
said Williams ain't there no more. You know
I know, but he was there last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So I don't know. How do we know that a lot of people don't have tape on what the Bears do now? They don't have tape on Justin Fields now because they've had enough of a sample size to scheme for him.
Yeah.
So they're just putting a spy on him so he can't do all those extra runs, But because they've got the receiving talent. They got everything that he needs. But if he's not processing it and the scheme is just boring, because are they doing the same scheme and everybody knows what they're doing now?
I mean, we already know that, though. I think that's the problem, right? We know that already. We know that the other teams have told us. They said, there's not a lot of creativity here. We know what's coming. We know what the next play is, and we're taking advantage of that. That makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
I think that realistically, when you look at this Bears team coming into this Broncos game, right, you have to – it's not even about surprising guys. You should know what the Bears are going to do this week. I'm not asking you to have this magical scheme. You know why? Because there's a blueprint already out there on how you destroy this team. And if they stack 8 in the box, then you adjust off of that. Then you bring play action. Then you start to figure out things off of what they do to adjust to your game. But the goal here is, and I think this is where the Bears get it wrong this season. The Bears' goal is so focused on, we need to know that Justin Fields is a quarterback.
Yeah.
More than we need to win football games.
I don't know.
Even though if you're doing things to win football games that just make sense, like running the football.
Yeah.
Justin Fields' life trying to be a quarterback becomes easier.
I think that it's not fair to Poles and now even Kevin Warren, because they've finally been handed the reins of an organization that has not been run how it should be ran. And so now you're trying to institute and build a whole new culture and get out, everything else that was there. I think to your point about how to win games, what Yurko was talking about, a lot of times too, that's the talent that you have, right? When you have the talent, you have the discipline, you're not tired in the fourth quarters. It's the conditioning. It's all those things that are put into that.
Everybody's tired in the fourth quarter.
I know everybody,
but y'all should be equally tired.
But the point is that there's a mental fortitude that has been given that you should have. Some of them, I mean, if you just like Velus Jones fumbling the football, that's a mental fortitude. He's got talent. He's strong. He's fast. All those type of things. But he gets in his own head. Yeah. So a lot of times it's like, are you able to scout the right talent in terms of just what we're bringing in here to fit the scheme from the top down? And you can't go backwards. You can't go like coach, GM, owner.
But you know what? I think this is the thing too. And like the video, if y'all agree, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys for showing love, man. I think here's the thing too with where the Bears are right now. I know there's talent on this team, whether it's Justin Fields or not. DJ Moore's talented.
Yeah, we have talent.
Like Tremaine Edmonds is talented, right? Yeah. Like I talked about this. I will guarantee you there's talent on this team.
We have 60% of the talent we need.
Even
right
with that, this still looks
or maybe 40,
inept.
40%. We have 40% of talent.
I think even more than that, right? Because here's the thing. I think when you see how many guys, at least on the offensive side, right, are talking about, listen, no, it's not good. right? This ain't just Claypool. Claypool is just the last person to do it. And this is why I look at the scheme of things, right? I'm not telling you that the Bears should come in and win every game. I'm not telling you that listen, nobody expected them to win the Kansas City game. Like the world didn't expect. Guess what? They didn't. They got cooked, right?
Right.
But on the other side of that, you should be able to go down the field and compete.
No,
I shouldn't look at the tape and say, yo, there's no way that you just basically said everybody run 15. Luke Getsy's trying to play Madden on all Madden, and he don't know what the playbook is.
I think that, like I said, the team is a reflection of the coach, and as well as the organization.
Relax leadership.
I mean, because but it's all of that is a factor, and he doesn't come across like a coach to me that's like intimidating. I mean, like I don't think when you look at Tony Dungy's, you look at Lovey, you look at I think Belichick doesn't seem like a yeller type guy, but he's got
no.
I mean, behind closed doors he is.
Yeah, behind closed doors.
But out front, the whole point is like it's not like our guy over there in Detroit. Dan Campbell is like a whole character.
I like Steve O'Connor. He said, we're not asking them to win every game. We just look like the dang New Hampshire Spiders. I love it. I absolutely love it, bro.
Yeah, no, I think I want to see. I was saying I need to see those rookie defensive tackles. They should just be starting. Like if they don't win this game, well, actually, do we hope that they actually compete this season and make it to the playoffs? I just feel like with Fields,
yes. Because there's too much season left, right?
Yeah.
And I think here's the thing that realistically, what is something that we see often? If we feel that a player is good and the coaching staff is holding him back, I'll change the coaching staff. But I know you're good. Us moving in the right direction. I know everybody wants Caleb Williams now and Shadur Sanders, whatever it is, whoever's your quarterback pick for the future. I would rather find out that Justin Fields is a good quarterback and just go, I still don't like what they do. I still don't like how they put a game plan together. I still think that they're a joke. I think that's, to me, that's the better outcome for the future of Chicago. Because otherwise, right, you're starting completely from scratch no matter what.
Yeah. This reminds me of how Lamar Jackson came into the league, and
except for the coach that was willing to acquiesce to his skill set.
No. Remember, the coordinator that they had was not Greg Roman before that.
Yeah,
and they tried to make him,
pocket pass.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They brought in the scheme that Kaepernick ran and Lamar ran, and boom, all of a sudden they're taking off. But it's just being smart enough to. I think the issue is the front office, the GM, whatever. They're going to have an identity of what they want for their team.
Yeah.
They say, I want a pocket quarterback, pocket passer, or I want an athletic run. Whatever it is that they want their identity to be, that's what they want to believe in. They want Justin to basically still be a pocket quarterback, but he's got this athleticism.
Yeah.
So the whole point is like, that's what they want. Like even when they were breaking down the whole Mitch with Deshaun Watson and Mahomes. The whole thing was they identified what they wanted. We want someone that can not make plays based off script. They felt like, Deshaun was off script a lot. So yeah, he can do all those magical things, but are you going to actually be able to, read the defense and move the ball? So I think that's the issue. Is like, it's what they want in that room. I don't know what Poles really wants. He might say, I want a guy that can direct the field from behind the pocket.
Yeah. I think no matter what, here's the one thing. And I know people are like, well, Fields isn't Poles' quarterback. Fields isn't, he's not the one that Ryan Poles wants in the building. And there may be some politics that come into play if Justin is bad enough and they want to move on from him. I'm not saying that he's safe, right? If he plays mediocre all season, to think that they wouldn't go out and look at another quarterback would just be naive at that point. But I do think that it makes Ryan Poles' life as a GM a lot easier if you've got your answer.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you have your answer, or you feel like you've seen enough to go in, because here's the thing, everybody keeps talking about Justin like they have to buy into Justin next year.
Right. They got
Justin's under contract.
Right. They
next
got
year.
2 more years. They got one more
here
year,
no matter what,
and they can tag
and
him.
you can pick up, right?
And you can tag him one for the 5th year.
Yeah, well, you can pick up his 5th year option, and then if you still like, maybe I don't like the quarterback class here, tag him, right? But there's still a ton of options with Justin Fields, and Ryan Poles has left himself open to that. I think that there's still a scenario in Ryan Poles' mind where, listen, Justin goes out, you get some wins under his belt, you start to figure out how to win. Tevin Jenkins is on his Goku tour. I don't know if you saw that on his Instagram post. He had Goku in the hyperbolic chamber, basically with the mask on, saying like, I'm gonna be back. I'm almost ready to be back. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, as you start to put this team back together, Nate Davis is gonna play this week as well. So as you start to put this team back together, to me, the best case scenario for the Bears, maybe it's not playoffs, but to have that run that we look at the team and go, okay, something's happening here. And maybe Flus ain't the one to see it, right? I heard my favorite line from Jonathan Hood on the radio. He'll never see Arlington. It was like the day they bought Arlington, bro. It was like, he'll never see Arlington. And he might not, but I would rather know, okay, we've got the players in place. Like, listen, far be it from me to say Chase Claypool should be speaking on anything. But he's not being utilized right.
None of them.
He's not wrong.
None of them.
He's not wrong.
But the problem is is Fields limited? Like, the whole point is like we're seeing things that says like you can't, certain things he just can't do, or he's not either making certain reads or certain throws.
Right.
It's like, what do y'all want us to do when we're all watching this? And you can put the play in.
I'm with you.
And you're mad that if the X is your number one guy, he can't throw it to X because he's timid, because he's overthinking, but he'll throw it to Y, and then he's just throwing the triple coverage. It's like I think people are so scared of him leaving. He has the ability that he has, and he goes somewhere else, and they think he's going to turn. I think he turns.
I do too.
But I think he's just going to be another.
I think here's the thing: if you put him if he went to San Francisco, could he play? Would he have been a good quarterback?
Probably. Who knows? Probably. Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
he might have been Trey Lance. I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen,
same kind of skill
Trey
set.
Lance was able to play if his ankles could stay together. When he was actually on the field, he was actually okay.
But see,
I think that's the thing, right? Like, if he goes somewhere else and has success, right? If he ended up on the Chiefs, if he ended up on the Eagles, if he ended wherever, right? You know that, okay, that team is in a situation for you to have success, and you can go in there and just focus on being the quarterback. Justin Fields had a
But is he Daniel Jones? Is he a step under Lamar in terms of running and some passing? Like, there hasn't, I don't know. I mean, if we could get that Pittsburgh, if we can get that New England and that Miami type game consistently out of him, okay, we got a quarterback. But it's still one game here, couple games there.
Yeah.
And then what we're seeing now. So it's like,
well, that is, I mean, remember, I asked y'all, what if he's just normal? What if he's not a top 5 quarterback?
Yeah. Is he worth $250 million based off potential?
Oh, no, you 250 million. You got 3 years, my boy, to make that decision.
Well,
you got 2 years.
You got 2 years.
You got this year and next year.
Well, actually, you got 1 year, because if you do tag them, you're gonna have to pay money on tag.
You don't have to tag him yet. You got this year, next year, and then you get to decide to pick up his 5th year option. Right. If he's mid this year, you're drafting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you're drafting a quarterback more than likely. And you're going to say, listen, the pressure's on. I need to see you take that next step. This is what it is right now. I look at, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. I look at Tua as an excellent example of when the scheme is wrong.
Right. Lamar Jackson.
I thought Tua couldn't play football. I swear to y'all, I really thought he was a bad quarterback. Yep. And guess what? For 3 years, 2 years, whatever it was, he was.
Right.
He was a bad quarterback. But before they made the decision to say, we're going to cast this guy off, they went and found their offensive guru.
Yeah.
And he's fixed all of a sudden.
It's no different from Drew Brees with Sean Payton. It's no different Brian Daboll with Josh Allen. It's no different with Greg Roman, with Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson. If you can get the right guy, it's 50-50. But the problem is, we want Justin Fields. We all want him to succeed.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know if his ceiling is where we think it could be. His ceiling might just be here anyways.
Well,
But you have to maximize his talent. So if he's more of a runner than he is a passer, then we need to scheme for that. But they may not want to do that.
If his ceiling is a little bit higher than what we saw in the Pittsburgh game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If his ceiling is that, are we okay with that?
Yeah, because he still has a dynamic